From difficult writing sessions to lyrical controversy to a song literally being banned from the French Catholic Church. I'll be covering some of the dark hidden messages behind a few of our favorite Christmas tunes. Starting off this list at number 10. Do You Hear What I Hear is a classic Christmas song that you'll for sure hear walking down the aisles of the grocery store. This song has countless covers, and the lyrics basically loosely tell the story of the nativity of Jesus as it is told in the Gospel of Matthew, but because of the fact that Jesus is never actually mentioned by name, it gives it slightly less of a religious feel. Also, the fact that it has repeating verses makes it an amazing choice for choirs around the holidays. So, what is hidden in the song? Well, it was written in 1962 by Gloria Shane Baker and Noel Regney, and it's honestly kind of about them being terrified of the Cuban Missile Crisis. Who would have thought? The lyrics about the star with a tail as big as a kite is actually about a missile, and the ending where they're praying for peace everywhere was a lot more literal and a lot more dark than I knew. In our number 9 spot, we have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Before I dive into this one, guys, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button because it really helps us out. Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas is a gorgeous, slow, sweet song that is really a Christmas classic. This song was originally sung by Judy Garland in 1944 for the movie Meet Me in St. Louis and was written by Hugh Martin. While listening to this song, one thing that we didn't know is how it originated. Hugh was tasked with writing this song to show the movie's family's sadness over celebrating their last Christmas in their home before having to move. The song originally featured lyrics like, "Have yourself a merry little Christmas, it may be your last," or the lyric that turned into "Hang a shining star upon the highest bough" was originally, "From now on we'll have to muddle through somehow." This is definitely not the same tone of the song that we all know and love today, although the slow nature of the song makes a lot more sense to me now. While I'm sure it was pretty frustrating for Hugh to have everyone telling him that the song was too depressing, I'm glad that it ended up turning into the holiday classic that it is. In our number 8 spot, we have Santa Claus is Coming to Town. This song is a straight Christmas banger, but it holds a pretty sad story when we look at its creation. The song was written in 1934 by a man named Haven Giuseppe. Haven was asked to write a Christmas song for children, which seems like a pretty easy task, but right before this meeting with his publisher, he had actually just come from his brother Erwin's funeral. When you're struggling with the loss of someone so close to you, I can't imagine it would be simple to write a cheery, upbeat song for children, but Haven managed to do it. On his train ride home, he thought about all of his favorite Christmas memories that he shared with his brother, and thus Santa Claus is Coming to Town was born. This song of course blew up and is always played around the holidays even today. Haven definitely made a wonderful thing out of his memories with his brother, and after all, isn't that kind of what the holidays are about? Spending time and creating beautiful memories with your loved ones that you can truly cherish forever. In our number 7 spot today, we have Oh Holy Night. While the song itself doesn't hold a dark message, it's the creation of the song that has a rocky history. Placide Cappeau was asked to write a poem for Christmas Mass for the French Church in 1847. Cappeau wrote the poem based on the nativity story, but once it was finished, he thought that the poem would be more powerful if it was set to music, which is how it ended up as the song we know it to be today. He asked Adolphe Charles Adams, who was a composer who wrote for operas and ballets such as Giselle and Le Corsaire, to compose the score for the poem. The French Catholic Church loved the song and were totally thrilled by it until things took a bit of a turn. Cappeau became a socialist, which didn't exactly sit well with the church, and then they also realized that Adams was Jewish, which again didn't sit well with the Catholic Church in 1847. The song ended up being banned and highly criticized by the church, but the French people loved it and continued to sing it. Soon it spread to other countries, and that is how it ended up remaining in our classic Christmas tunes today. In our number 6 spot, we have the song I Saw Three Ships. This one isn't at the top of everyone's Christmas playlist, but it definitely is still a classic. This song has a long history since it was originated in 1666, so there is a lot of debate and speculation on what this song means. Some people believe that it is symbolic of the three wise men, or possibly the Holy Trinity, But there is a much darker theory about what it may possibly be about. There are a couple people who believe that the song is about the ships carrying the bodies of the three wise men to their resting places. Since the song has been around for so long, there are actually a few different versions of the lyrics, but one of the more original sets says, "They said they'd got 3 crons." Crons apparently used to mean skulls, so this is a pretty good case for believing that this dark meaning might have been the truth behind the song. Because there are so many different versions, we probably won't ever know for sure what the original composer had in mind, but a lot of the theories are pretty strong contenders. At our 5th spot and our halfway mark, we have "I'll Be Home for Christmas." This is truly a holiday standard. The song was written in 1943 by Kim Gannon and Walter Kent. When Bing Crosby recorded it, it landed in the top 10 and has been a popular Christmas tune ever since. This song is actually fairly quite literal in its sad message, but I never really took a moment to step back and consider the lyrics. The song is written from the perspective of a soldier who is overseas. He is writing home to his family to let them know that he'll be home for Christmas, which should be happy, but the alternate title of the song is "If Only in My Dreams," which really does mean that it is unlikely that the soldier will actually be returning home for Christmas. The song was written during World War II and was meant to comfort the friends and families of the soldiers who were fighting overseas. Having a loved one missing for Christmas is never easy, but I can't imagine what it would be like to be missing a family member because they were fighting in a war. I think that the slow, melancholy feel of the song really drives home its true meaning. In our number 4 spot today, we have "I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus." This has always been a weird one for me. I know it's about a dad who is impersonating Santa and the kid sees their mom sneaking a quick kiss, but honestly, imagine how traumatic that could be for a kid. Of course, the dad wasn't the real Santa Claus, but the kid who saw this obviously thinks that he was. Imagine being a child and having to try and mull all of this over on your own. Maybe it would leave you to believe that Santa is trying to tear your family apart, or maybe you could develop a vendetta against your mom for smooching what you thought was another man. And then, do you take the leap and tell your dad? How would you tell him if you decided to? I guess what I'm trying to say is that this song is supposed to be silly and cute, but it truly turns out kind of creepy and honestly potentially traumatic, but maybe I'm just reading a little too deep into the song. In our number 3 spot, we have "Baby It's Cold Outside." Alright guys, we all know how controversial this song is, and honestly it's for a pretty fair reason. This song used to be a hit and played everywhere, but a few years ago people began discussing its very creepy underlying message. The duet is about a woman who is trying to leave a man's house, but he is really trying to coerce her into staying. Like, he's basically forcing her into staying with him, which is very menacing and also very creepy and very weird. The song has recently caught a lot of flack for promoting this kind of behavior and has actually been banned from a lot of radio stations in the last few years. I hope the song wasn't created to portray this kind of message, but I honestly can't blame the people who feel pretty uncomfortable with its content. In our number 2 spot, we have probably one of the most, if not the most, famous Christmas song ever, "Jingle Bells." While the song's first verse and chorus are the most widely known, there are actually a few more verses to the song, and the second verse really takes a turn. So, in the second verse, the person who is originally riding the sleigh ends up picking up a lady named Miss Fanny Bright along the way. Then the horse pulling their sleigh accidentally crashes them into a snowbank and the two are thrown out of the sleigh. This is already pretty crazy, but then another sleigh rides past them and the person in it just laughs at them as he continues, which is super rude. The song ends off with the narrator of the song giving some advice to the younger generation on how to sleigh, but considering his ride that we just heard about that didn't go too well, I probably wouldn't take his advice. Also, Fanny is never mentioned again in the song after the crash, so I'm really wondering what happened to her and where she went. I really did think this song was just about a fun winter sleigh ride, but boy, that is not the case at all. In our number 1 spot today, I've got one that is extremely depressing, so I'm giving you fair warning. Walking in a Winter Wonderland would not be the song I would have thought had a dark backstory, but I was absolutely wrong about that. This song was written during the Great Depression in 1934 by Richard B. Smith. This song is about two lovers imagining walking through a gorgeous winter paradise, enjoying each other's company and playing in the snow and building snowmen, and honestly, it just sounds like a wonderful fairy fairy tale romance, but it is the writer's life at the time that he wrote it that gives it a dark message. Richard was actually passing away from tuberculosis in a sanitarium. He wrote the song about the dream world that he wanted to escape to with his wife Jean, who he had only married 1 year prior to him being diagnosed with his illness. It's honestly the saddest backstory to such a wonderful song. I really hope that writing the song possibly helped make him feel a little bit better, even though he was unable to escape to this dream world that he had created. Alright guys, that has been our list for today. Thank you so much for checking it out. I've been your host, Olivia Kozlowski, and I hope that you have a very Merry Christmas, and I'll see you soon.